Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Good evening and welcome to the Greenwood Theatre, our Tuesday home in London. And my first guest, I have to tell you, is immense in Hollywood, and she's huge in Italy, and she's got an enormous pair of sparkling eyes. And the reason she's kicking off the series is because she's good and she's big. Ladies and gentlemen, Bertice Reading.
I can wash out 44 pairs of socks and have them hanging on the line. I can starch 9 2-dozen shirts for you and count from 1 to 9. I can dip up a great big dipper full of lard from the drippings can. Throw it in the skillet, go out and do my shopping and be back for it melts in the pan. 'Cause I'm a woman, W-O-M-A-N. I say it again. I'm a woman, W-O-M-A-N. I can wash and scrub this old house till it's shining like a dime. Clean the baby, wash the car, and powder my face at the same time. Get all dressed up, go out and swing to 4 a.m. and then lay down at 5 and jump up at 6 and start all over again. 'Cause I'm a woman, W-O-M-A-N. I say it again. I'm a woman, W-O-M-A-N. Yeah. If you come to me sickly, you know I'm gonna make you well. If you come to me hexed up, you know I'm gonna break the spell. If you come to me hungry, you know I'm gonna fill you full of drips. If it's loving you like, and I'll kiss you and give you the shivering fits. 'Cause I'm a woman, W-O-M-A-N. I say it again. I'm a woman, W-O-M-A-N. Go on and get it. A dollar bill from here to kingdom come. I can play my bills, pay the numbers, and still end up with some. I got a $20 gold piece, it ain't nothing I can't do. I can make a dress out of a feed bag, and I'll make a man out of you. 'Cause I'm a woman, W-O-M-A-N. I say it again. I'm a woman, W-O-M-A-N. Come on, get it. I'm a woman, W-O-M-A-N. I say it again. I'm a woman, W-O-M-E-N. When you said big, 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 did you mean I was big in the business or big in the body?
About 3 of both. Oh. You are huge in Holland, I gather.
Yes, and in Belgium. Don't forget Belgium. They can see you here, you know.
You mean you're watching us in Belgium?
Yes, in Belgium they watch you.
Are they pirate watching?
No, the BBC goes over the water. You know, the channel's just across between, you know.
Yeah, or maybe the North Sea.
The North Sea? Mm-hmm. What's that got to do with Belgium?
Well, it separates us from...
Oh, I see. I thought it was the channel.
What do you sing in Holland?
I sing Dutch songs, I sing French songs, I sing German songs.
Just give us a tiny bit of Dutch.
A Dutch song?
Yeah.
Well, I have one special song. It's called Mevrouw, hoe komt u nou tot zo fijn? Mager, kijk naast mij, bent u gewoon aanspreekt.
What does that mean?
It means, dear lovely lady, you look so lovely and thin. Why is it I look so fat?
Shall you come back in about 4 or 5 weeks' time when you've got launched
Well,
to
I
Mayfair
don't know.
Theatre and tell us how your life is then?
Where, at the Mayfair Theatre?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I'll be there in December, so I hope that all you people will go and start buying your tickets now.
Meantime, Bertice Reading.
Don't forget it,
thank
darling,
you
because I do
very
want you to
much
come and
indeed.
see my lovely show. Don't forget.
Start as you mean to go on. The day... That woman will never work in television again. The day after tomorrow in London, when I've got this wiped off, a film is to open, which is... I wondered why you're putting that on the chair there for me. So, a film is to open which has already blown up a sandstorm of controversy. There's even a cartoon about it in tonight's London Evening Standard. The film, of course, is called Caligula, and Mrs. Thatcher appears there as Caligula, but more about that later. Now, Caligula was the emperor who was far from the noblest Roman of them all, though the film has, in fact, a most noble lineup. Malcolm McDowell, Sir John Gielgud, Helen Mirren and Peter O'Toole. The author, Gore Vidal, was supposed to be writing the screenplay, but had his name taken off the credits because he said his original idea was turned by the producer into pornography. You will all doubtless have read that the same producer, that's Bob Guccione of Penthouse magazine, has expressly forbidden the British press to see the film before it opens. So because tonight's guest is in fact Caligula himself, I took a cheap day return to Paris to see it and to select an extract. However, you will not be surprised to hear that I found nothing that is characteristic of the film that would be permissible to show at this time of night, or indeed at any other time of night, as far as I can see. It's certainly a very naughty film. If you woke up in the middle of it, you would be forgiven for thinking you were trapped in a positive equatorial forest of pubic hair, being forced to witness endless variations upon a single theme. It's a bit like It's a Knockout, but it's not as funny. It doesn't have Eddie Waring. So what are great names like Gielgud, Mirren and O'Toole doing in all this? Well, let Caligula speak for himself. Ladies and gentlemen, Malcolm McDowell. This is the second time we've faced each other on the screen.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
I thought I didn't do very well the first time.
I'm glad you said that. I didn't think you did very well the first time, but this time I think we're going to make up for it. It's going to be... I didn't do very well either, actually.
That was slightly... You see, I have had slight fears about
You know why? I know why, because it was the time, I think, of Clockwork Orange,
yeah.
You see, and everybody thought that I was this sort of heavy punk tough, and because of the part that I played in the film. But, of course, that's not true at all. I'm just a sweet, regular sort of...
Punk tough.
Punk tough.
Yeah. Now, shall we dispose of Caligula...
In one sentence.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you asked me a question then. That's all right. It's your show. You can do it.
or get Bertice Reading back. Is it something that now is an albatross around your neck?
No, not at all. Not at all. Very simply, the film is... if anybody is thinking of going to it in this audience tonight, I would advise them not to. And it's rather a shame because I think when we started out with this project, there were some pretty heavyweight talents involved. Gore Vidal was doing the script, and he's a marvelous writer, as you know. And the cast, I think, is very good. We had a very interesting director, rather radical Italian director.
Name of?
Tinto Brass. Sounds like a sort of a cleaner for knives and forks, doesn't it? But anyway, so the idea was about Caligula, and I've always found this Roman emperor a really fascinating man, and the idea behind it was interesting, and I wanted to do it not as the Robert Graves, I Claudius Caligula. I wanted to make him to play him as a sane man, and I wanted to show that Caligula tried to destroy the Roman Empire from the top. From the inside, from the very top. In other words, to make him an anarchist, you see. And I thought that was a very interesting idea, so that his madness was thought out, and he was provoking all the institutions of Rome. Now, that was my idea, and that's what I tried to do.
Was that Gore Vidal's idea?
Yes, in part
Initially?
it was. Initially, yes. Yeah. And that's when I met with him. He was the one who wanted me to play the part.
Right.
And that is why I got interested. Now, the money, the people that put up the money for this thing, as you know, is Bob Guccione and Penthouse Films, as they've now become. Now, I'm just an actor, you see, in a thing. You don't really know and find out who's putting up the money. It's like Warner Brothers or Paramount, or they're just there to put the money up, and somebody pays for it, and you get off and you make the film. Unfortunately, of course, in this particular case, a lot of pornographic, explicit material, and I know that you've seen part of it anyway, was added a year later. They shot this stuff, and so if I do a close-up and look away, and I could be looking at a wall or something, they'd put in 2 penthouse pets, you see. So that the cast really were betrayed, but it's a betrayal, I think, of the talents involved.
I can't believe, though, that having gotten into it, that you were not aware which way it was going. I mean,
if you're making a film about Caligula, he was a pagan emperor. He was a pagan time. This is before Christ. It was never going to be, you know, Watch with Mother. It's a very, very...
Watch with Mother, it certainly ain't.
No, it ain't, no.
I really ought to
hopefully
say...
my mother won't watch it either, because I wouldn't suggest that... I'm not particularly... The thing is that the intent of the film, the original intent, has now been bastardized. And I feel rather that my work in it, although I'm proud of it, and I'm glad I did it, I certainly don't regret doing it. There are some scenes in that film that I'm extremely proud of, and I think that the actors, Helen Mirren, Peter O'Toole, and Sir John, are wonderful in the film. And parts of it, and parts of certain sequences in it are really wonderful, and I'm very proud of them. But the whole, all together, it was obviously made to make a fortune in money and to get big bucks,
yes,
and of course it's doing that.
And here's an interesting situation, because we can't use any clip to illustrate what we're talking about.
And you see, you had to go to Paris to see the film. He wouldn't even show it to you. He wouldn't show it to the press. They had to go and pay $7.50 to see it, so they gave it the most awful reviews. Imagine asking a critic to go and pay to see you. And admittedly, there's no pornographic... I don't do any pornographic material in that...
Oh, Malcolm.
Tell me. What are you referring to? Now, you see, you're going to make... They're all going to go dying to see it now.
This is what I was going to
say.
See,
you're playing into this man's hands, for God's sake.
I know. There is a terrible moral dilemma. Here we are talking about something which the people are leaving now. To try and get into this.
In droves.
They're trying to get out to see it. But there are certain things. You do an awfully... I can't even begin to describe what it is that you do. Am I blushing at all?
That'll be the day when I see you blushing, Russell. No, you're not blushing, all right.
Well, first of all, you pass water on the stage quite openly.
Well, listen, I told you, it's a pagan time.
But that's the mildest thing you do, Malcolm.
My father, I must say, thought I was brilliant.
Your father thought you were brilliant?
He thought that was the most perfect thing he'd ever seen in his life. He said, that's really good acting, or maybe you can do that on cue.
Still slightly wiggling in the middle, Malcolm, about
no,
the fact that you couldn't...
At all.
Well, could you have walked off without...
No, you can't. I signed a contract.
Did you give Bob Guccione a piece of your mind?
Bob Guccione knows how I feel about him and the film. I've never kept that a secret, but I don't like sort of slagging people off in public, but I mean, you know...
I think you need
he's not exactly my best friend, I'll put it that way.
Is it pornographic?
I think the film is pornographic, yes. And that is, as it stands, as I saw it in America, it won't be here because they'll have, there's an enormous amount of cuts, I believe.
When, in 20 years' time, that you are the richest man in the whole world...
have you tried to, I mean,
well,
that's
let me finish my fancy.
Yes.
In 20 years' time, when you're the richest man in the whole world, you can buy all the copies of it, can't you, and take it out of
I'd love to buy them now.
And do what with them?
I'd have, well, Guy Fawkes' night's coming up, isn't it?
All right,
we could have a real good time.
Let's push Caligula behind our chair.
Yeah.
Are you ambitious?
Naturally, I'm ambitious, yes, and to do good work and to work with good people.
Like John Gielgud, you have a hankering.
I love John Gielgud. I hope to do a play that he's going to direct, The Importance of Being in Earnest, on Broadway in the spring, hopefully, with...
Is that lining itself together?
We hope. I haven't spoken to John because I only got back yesterday.
Have you ever been directed by him?
No.
Can't he be slightly...
Oh, no, there's no better man in the world to direct Oscar Wilde and The Importance of Being Earnest. I should think I wouldn't want to do it with any other director, and it'll be a great privilege to work with him because I adore him and love him.
Well, a lot of people do, but there are legion stories about the things that he does and about the quixotic nature of his mind and about the fact he changes.
Do you know, there is one story, but I asked him whether it was true, and he said, I don't think it... He said, I don't think I can remember that. I don't think so. Was it me? It may have been me. Yeah. Anyway, apparently he was in... he was on Broadway in a play, and he was being feted by everybody. Are you getting wound up?
No,
all right.
I'm stretching.
So I can... Okay. So he went anyway to a party given by an American actress called Mercedes McCambridge, and she's a very famous actress there. And there's only one Mercedes McCambridge. I mean, that's a very unique name. And so John went to this thing, and he was going to so many of these parties, cocktail parties and stuff. So he's sitting there, and Mercedes McCambridge says to him, well, tell me, Mr. Gielgud, you know, what have you been doing? He said, oh, practically boring, really, and I'm rather tired, and I've got to go to this awful thing, and I'm going to this dinner party with Mercedes McCambridge. And she said, but I am Mercedes McCambridge. And he said, oh, yeah, not you, dear, the other one. But he says it's not true. I don't think he remembers.
Of course it's true.
I think it sounds like John.
How long have you recently been happily married for?
I'm on my honeymoon.
Are you really?
Mary's here with me now, I think.
Is she really?
Somewhere.
Well, we better wish her a happy... I mean, you've elected to come here for your honeymoon.
There she is. Hello, darling.
Hello. Say hello to Mary.
There she is.
There she is.
She's just... we just got Time magazine today. Opened up, and Mary's just made a film. It's just opening in New York today, called Melvin and Howard, about Howard Hughes and the man who, the pretender to the will, Melvin Dumas. And we opened it up, and it says the most wonderful review for the film and for Mary. So that was like a sort of honeymoon present.
Anyway, we wish you obviously success
in
whatever it is, especially with John Gielgud. And we shall all, if it's not banned, we shall all fly across to New York and see you there. Meanwhile, thank you very much, Malcolm McDowell. You will remember a year ago last March the sudden and tragic death of a young actor who used to make us all laugh a lot, Richard Beckinsale, best known as comedy star in The Lovers, Bloomers, but above all as Godber to Ronnie Barker's Fletcher in that grand programme called Porridge. Well, today this book appears in print. It's a collection of poems by Richard Beckinsale, collected and published by his wife Judy, and here's a friend, Richard Briers, to introduce the poems.
These are quite unexpected poems to have been written by a comedy actor. They're very personal. Some are simple, some quite complex. They talk about life, love, and death. Here's one that I particularly like. It's called A Song of Circles. Sing a song of circles, dance a spinning web of time, heal all the scars I have inside my heart and on my mind. With spider hands of gentleness, bind me in bonds of love. Let all around me speak in light, and out of darkness move. I have a song to sing of beauty, pure and simple, fond and true. Let the song be sung in gladness, made of me and born of you. Take my hand, my gentle angel, hold it close and let it know all the love you have inside you. Let it feed now, let it grow. Somewhere in the sudden sunshine, I can see a darkness there. Close your golden wings around me. Keep me safe and peaceful there.
Thank you very much, Richard Briers. Now, that was quite clearly a love poem, and the person to whom it was written was his wife and mother of their child, Judy Beckinsale. She's with us tonight, together with the man who was not only most closely associated with Richard Beckinsale professionally, in Porridge, that is, but was also a personal friend. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Judy Beckinsale and Ronnie Barker. Welcome to both of you. Judy, how did you discover these poems? I mean, was he a secret writer or a public writer?
No, I mean, the one thing I tried to make clear in the book was that he didn't actually aspire to be a writer. I mean, he was a dabbler, as we tend to be in times of crisis or stress, or when we're sort of working things out in our adolescence or whatever. And a certain section of the poems were sent to me, a whole sort of barrage of them, at a certain time in our relationship, when things were a bit sticky and we were trying to work it out. And then there were others that he had a big black book, which he wrote in and agonized over. There was a quote in it halfway through saying, "I haven't written anything remotely good yet."
Were
Very
they
frustrated sort of.
Were they, do you think, written with an eye to publication eventually?
Absolutely not. I mean, this is why I've had such qualms about actually putting them in front of the public, because a lot of them, I think, could well have been discarded jottings. The ones that he sent to me, as far as he was concerned, were complete unto themselves, which is why he sent them to me.
What surprised me a great deal, are the strands of premonition about death and certainly bits of violence and certainly fear. I mean, was he frightened of things in his life?
Yes, he was. I mean, the thing about death was that, I mean, without making a big thing about it, he was convinced that he would die young. And this was something that he spoke to fellow students when he was 18. It was very much a part of our life, not in an obsessive way, but he used to say, "I'm so frustrated because there's so many things that I want to do, and I'm not going to be able to get them in." And I'd say, "No, you know, you're not. You've done all these things."
Right. Let's ask Richard Briers to illustrate what I mean. The kind of feeling of violence. I mean, it's dark, it's brooding, it's menacing. It's called "One of These Nights." That's not the title, but that is in fact the first line. Richard.
One of these nights, you're going to wake up screaming for a hand to put on the light, for arms to take you and hold your shaking body close to his heartbeat and soothe you out of fear of your hysterical nightmare. In your dream, you saw pain and hunger, death and disease, fire and torture, and torment unceasing. In your head, you saw blood of little children, of many men and women of your own, splashed and drenched in steaming crimson. You ran away from your own mind on the feeble flapping wings of your own tumbling thoughts. Wake up, gentle lady. There is no need to sleep. I can show you a nightmare in daylight. I can show you horror with my living, breathing flesh, blood, and bones. It's all here in my lifetime, though I am only yet young. I have seen it and live it, and my life has only just this moment begun.
Did you know, Ronnie, that these poems were being written?
No idea at all. No, and I don't think I ever saw him write anything. Not even a note on his script, he did not. He used to remember it all. No, I never saw any. I never saw any writing. I had no idea that he wrote. He knew that I wrote. I used to write ad bits for the shows and things, but
that's because he didn't consider himself a writer. That was the whole point.
But did you then see any of this dark side of him that is so prominent in these poems?
Hardly anything. No, hardly anything. Funnily enough, about 2 weeks before he died, we had a long talk about death. It's extraordinary.
Yes.
And I was saying there must be something after it, and he said, "No, there isn't. There's nothing." And I said, "Well, what happens after the nothing?" And we just couldn't agree on that. You know, we couldn't.
You've written a rather jolly little foreword to
yes,
Judy's
about him
book.
making me laugh. He did. Oh, he made me laugh a hell of a lot. Yeah.
And
we had a great time.
He could. There's a bit about codicil thing. Did he play with words as much as you do? I mean,
Well, he used to like words. No, I think that was from something he'd done before. He used to. Yes, the producer would say, "Right, we'll do the end now," and he'd say, "Oh, we'll do the codicil." What's the codicil? I used to say, "What's the codicil?" He said, "The end bit." I say, "How do you spell it?" He said, "ENDBIT." We used to do that. We used to do that, but that was a sort of run-off, like a running gag. You know, we said it very fast.
All right.
You know.
Which particular poem have you chosen of his?
A Poem Forever, it's called. Shall I read it?
Yeah. Is that the title or is that the first
That's
line?
the title, yes. Many of them haven't got titles, have they, Judy? But this one is called A Poem Forever. I kick through the death of an autumn past, searching for dreams that I thought would last, but nobody watered the tree. The blood is now drained, the body is dust, the soul is near dying, and die now it must, because nobody watered the tree. I now walk through winter, on towards spring, to the strength of a new life that sunshine will bring, if somebody waters the tree. I'll dig deep in the dirt and plant a new seed, bring everything to it that I think it will need, and I will remember. Oh yes, I'll remember. Remember to water the tree. Beautiful, beautiful.
A lot of people said that they thought that he worked too hard.
I think probably you can say that about a great number of actors. Yes,
Yes.
he did work very, very hard.
I never noticed it.
did a wonderful laid-back quality. Yes.
Yes, he did. No, actually, yes, that was the great thing about him. He appeared to do absolutely nothing at all. He appeared to do, but he was always in exactly the right spot at exactly the right moment and gave exactly the right line, you know. Yes, he had the great appearance of doing nothing, but was doing an enormous amount, yes. Yeah.
Is he still alive for you?
Absolutely, totally, yes. I mean, Richard was an enormous influence on my life and my way of thinking, and continues to be so, actually. I can say no more.
Well,
yes.
let's leave that memory of him and your shared memory of him in that book and ask Richard to read us out of this particular programme. Let me, first of all, before we do that, can I say thank you, first of all, to you, Judy, and thank you to Ronnie. Thank them both, please.
Not at all.
Here is the final poem, one more poem. It's dedicated aptly to you, Judy. I think it's the best poem in the book, and I'll let Richard Briers give it the specific introduction, Richard, and it's called To You, Judy, I think. And you know, Richard.
This poem is called To Judy, the only person I want to love, the only person I want. I want to stop feeling sick on the top of buses. I want to go to Iceland. I want to be able to write a cheque for £1,000 and know it won't bounce. I want to believe in God. I want Alan Meadows and Valerie Georgeson to have a baby daughter. I want to roll cigarettes that don't go out. I want to find happiness in the present. I want to be able to wear contact lenses all day. I want my mother to pass her driving test. I want peace and freedom for all the frightened people in the world. I want my father to be able to hear what I'm saying. I want to be able to drink 10 pints of beer and walk home on my own. I want to look in a mirror and not see myself. I want to be able to swim. I want to die when I'm 54 years old. I want not to be lazy. I want to marry you. I want a dog. I want to die in your arms. I want you to always be the sunshine.
That's all from us tonight. Good night to you all. Will you, first let me just say what I have to say, because it's a bit tinily sad thing. First live show I've done, and we came out nearly on time. We did come out on time, even blast the Waltons for doing 2 minutes over. I would like for you to help me, on my behalf, to thank these two sensational people for helping me to launch this series, if you do that now. And then I want to thank you. You clap yourselves as well, because you've been a terrific audience, and thank you very much for joining us.